the 10-gallon Peninsula. That was just started a couple weeks ago. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, what I got going on in there. Over here is the 6-gallon tall. I finally figured out the clarity, guys. It's looking really nice and clear. And over here is the 20-gallon mixed reef. And up here, 3.5-gallon PICO. All right, let's get this train rolling. New viewers, this is the Tom Reefer channel. Practical means to keeping your nano reefs, and any reef for that matter. And today in particular, Water Change Wednesday is question and answer. You leave a question or a comment below the video, and I'll answer it out there, and I'll answer it here. And then I mention your name. All right, so let's get into Water Change Wednesday right now. To do this and this through the whole video so you could see the 6-gallon behind me. First question, Gooksy asks, hey Tom, what's your advice or experience on rock flower anemones and small fish? I read the fish can be eaten by the anemones. Gooksy, rock flowers do not eat fish. They are not an aggressive anemone. I've had mine in there for almost a year now and nothing. I see the peppermint shrimp climbing on top of it to try to get food out of the oral disc, so there's no problem whatsoever with the rock flowers and small fish. Aquatic and Stuff asked about what do I check my phosphate with? And I check my phosphate with the HYGGER Aquatic and Stuff. So you can use that. It's really reliable and it's my go-to test, the HYGGER phosphate. Broke Reefer Man made this cool medallion of the Tom Reefer train.
Piece in my hand and bloodshot eyes, I walk to the water for a last.
And I really appreciate that. That was really cool that he took his time. I know you guys have busy lives, and he took some time to make that. Very cool. So we're gonna see what we'll do with that. Reef Vapes asks, I have a 5-gallon under the display that he uses to pump fresh salt water on water change days. Can I store the mixed salt water for a week? As long as you keep it aerated. If it's just stagnant in there, it'll lose oxygen over time. So just aerate it. And I would also just keep an eye on the salinity, because the aeration from the bubbler may evaporate some of the water out over a week. I would prefer that you don't keep a lid on it, and that would create more of an oxygen exchange with the surface. And then when it comes time, maybe the night before, test your salinity, see if the salinity is good to go, and the following day or morning when you're ready to change your water, then pump it up. Jaibi said the macro algae is growing really well in my 10, and I do have to show you. So let's take a look at it. It's really just exploding. I have to keep an eye on it. Because of it going sexual. But so far, it's kind of cool what it's doing. What it's doing is, if you see where I first put it in, I put it along the bottom in the center. What's happened is on the left side, it began to die off and grow out more towards the right. And now it's growing up towards the light, and it's really growing. I can almost see the difference day to day. It's like growing an inch, sometimes more every day. It's really growing nicely. It's growing all the way up. And I'm just going to let it go. And if it seems to become a problem in any way, I'll just trim it back. As it gets clear like this and loses its green, I can see it's dying off. So I go in there with the tweezers and pick it out. And sometimes it gets stuck up in the HYGGER anyway. And look at my 6 line. All my fish are my friends. This here is red algae, guys. I have to call fish guy Mike. I don't see it deteriorating, although the color has lessened since I got it. It's a red leafy algae, and I'm not sure. I've looked it up in some of my books. I don't know, but I want to make sure it's growing. And I really don't know why. It looks big, it hasn't deteriorated, so we'll see. Look at that 6 line, beautiful, right? Here's the orchid dotty back. They don't care, they like me. I put this little piece in from the PICO, it's doing well. That's a little pipe organ. Shrooms are doing pretty nice here. That looks really nice. And they came from Fish Guy Mike's new viewer. Watch some of my older videos, you'll see who Fish Guy Mike is. And I put a few Kenya tree pieces in here. They're doing okay. And that'll also keep my nitrate and maybe a little of my phosphate down. I'm going to test again and see what my nitrate and phosphate. I know it's going to keep my nitrate down. Alvaro asks, he noticed red in the overflow box in the 6 gallon. And he was wondering if that was cyano. I don't believe it is, and I'm going to show you today what I did to remedy that. I wasn't too pleased visually. With the way the 6 gallon looked once I put on the overflow box, the external overflow, and I did notice that reddish colored algae, and what that was doing was growing on the inside of the box, but it wasn't cyano. So since then, I've cleared it all out. I went down with a scraper and I cut a piece of black acrylic. And I slid it down inside. So now there won't be any visible algae growth that you can see other than what you would normally see on black. Chris asked if I bought my overflow box for the now 6 gallon, or was it a do-it-yourself? And Chris, it was a do-it-yourself. I had my guy Johnny B cut glass to my dimensions, and I siliconed it into the side. Hugo asks if I can recommend any fish for a 15 gallon that aren't jumpers. Gobies, the sand sifters, you know, the bottom dwelling fish are usually good. I have a Watchman or blue spotted goby, and it never comes up beyond 4 or 5 inches to get food. In my experience, the bottom dwellers do not jump out. He's actually afraid to go up to the top. So I recommended any of the gobies, the Watchmen, some of the sand sifters, but you have to be careful, Hugo, about the sand sifters in small tanks, because if it's a real heavy duty sand sifter and you have flow in the tank, when he lets it go through his gills, it's going to go all over the place and create a sandstorm, and it won't go away for a few minutes, or if he's really doing it a lot, it'll never go away. Manuel's having difficulty with his water box in his filtration area. He notices water level is creeping up in his back area, and it's causing the ATO difficulty because he probably has a sensor and it's not working properly. I have that same tank, and what happens is on the bottom of their compartments, there's a very small divider. It's only about an inch off the bottom of the tank. So if things can get clogged up in there, I know especially with the refugium, things can get clogged, so you want to keep an eye on that. My guess is he has some form of foam block or something maybe in that first compartment that's collecting detritus and whatnot, and he says he's been cleaning that, but has to do it every day. I would remove that, Manuel. You really don't need that. You can try it that way and see if it comes down, but maybe before you do that, see if your dividers on the bottom, there's one in the first compartment and one in the second compartment, and there might be something clogged in there. I don't know if you have a refugium, but if you do, it's possible some of your Chaeto is slowing it down. It's not completely clogged, but it might be slowing it down. I had that problem with mine. Read my mind, guys. Come on. That should do it for this one. I agree. Anyway, new viewers, you know what to do at this point. If you've gone this far, you know what to do. Guys that have been with me, thanks for hanging in there. The channel's gonna grow. Who knows what it'll become? All right? Take care, and I'll see you Sunday. I don't know what I'm doing for Sunday. Hey, I want to tell you this. Something in the back of my mind is saying my 20 is getting too crowded. I'm tired of cutting stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I might have to do something about that. All right, take care now, guys. See you on Sunday. Take care.